August 27, 2026. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looks like at the moment. There was no economic data to really move the markets. I think tomorrow maybe there's be some other stuff that comes out, maybe with I think the Fed chair holding a press briefing discussion. But otherwise, there was a lot of price action. Like there was a lot of price action movement, but not necessarily any clean setups that I particularly liked. There are two almost setups and something I saw, like a hunch or something. They both and the almost trades would have worked out. It's just that I couldn't justify them in real time, and then now it's getting later in the day, and I'm feeling like bad decisions and anxiousness is definitely crawling in. So I'm going to nip it in the bud because if I stick and watch it through, there could very likely just be some possible trade that comes out, and then I could probably take it. But more than likely, if price action just kind of keeps doing what it's doing, there might be an almost trade, and in that case, that almost trade I can see probably biting me in the butt because invent, I just believe that it's going to set up when it actually isn't. So I'm going to try to be patient and just have a no trade day today. So prices move down. Looks like it's two legs in the pre-market. Pushes back up, sideways consolidation, and another leg down. And right before the open, it was just very choppy here. Just choppy, choppy up. Then it forces itself back down, break, test the low. You could say it's a visual first entry, second entry. And if that's the case, it is hitting a double bottom, which is fine, but I need a higher low. And I was kind of looking for a higher low, but I didn't have this channel established yet. So even if a higher low shows up, it would just be kind of in the middle of nowhere because you do kind of get a higher low here, but it's a red candle. And then the following subsequent candle is a green one, and it's inside to this one. Not only is that one inside, the next one is. So there's no trade here. It's just kind of waiting now. So it hits the localized and the low of day. First entry short pullback, second entry short failure, but it's just nothing really clean here. Pushes up to the high side. Maybe there was some kind of resistance. Didn't mean to drag that there. Maybe there's some kind of resistance being respected here, but this one's pretty far from here. It's not really established. It's just hard to trust this. Prices move down, break, test the low. Could be a first entry, second entry. Again, I'm looking for a higher low possibility, but the higher low shows up here, far from the EMA. Nothing really to speak of here. It looks like it's first entry long pullback, second entry long. Also looked like it was one, maybe two legs, but also just one leg. I didn't draw it because it's just kind of pretty obvious to me. It looks like it's just pushing down, no clean pullbacks. And then it reverses up. The localized low, first entry short pullback, second entry short. I'm thinking the break of this green up channel needs to test the high. And at the time, I've since deleted it to try to keep the chart a little cleaner. I was thinking, am I in a range? But it was kind of transparent at the time. It didn't really pan out to be anything. Just looks like there's something that might have formed, but it never really respected it. So never kept it around. So it's a break and test the high. I saw this in real time. Like a first entry short, second entry short, technically it's a failure here and then a higher low here. But there's no way to really know and enter this trade until the break of this guy. And even the break of this guy, as the tick was counting down, it broke, but it wasn't toward the end of its candle life. So after it already made a new high, to ask this candle to proceed further up was kind of a tall order. So I had to kind of leave it alone. It's not even worthy of a designation. That's come just an arrow, something I saw in real time. I mean, technically it would have played out, and I think I probably would have lost because there's less than 6 ticks here, and then it would have flushed down, definitely stopped me out here. If it did, then this one would have stopped me out here. And there's no clean like support to keep my stop at, so it just would have been a risky kind of a gamble setup. The prices move up this green up channel, break, test the high again. It does look like a leg up, but it's not the cleanest. It's just busy, but not yielding anything useful. Then it looks like it's one leg down, pullback, second leg down. Saw it as a visual first entry, pullback, second entry. So maybe there's an almost trade here. It does look like it's a clean bullish candle. And keep in mind, the EMA, like the previous days, hasn't been that useful. It's just kind of chopping around. Prices are moving both above and below it. So use this and believe since it ticked below these two and then closed at the high, breaking above the EMA, Well, at the moment, EMA isn't that valid. So whether it breaks above or below it, I can't really use that as a signal or a key entry point that this is a solid setup. So it's almost trade, but then I was looking for a higher low, never shows up, flushes back down, continues on its choppy way. And then I have this channel established that I kind of drew in later after these candles formed, but I never colored it in because it just doesn't look quite right. So it's a localized high. Technically, you have a first entry long, but it looks like it's 2 legs down. So again, I'm looking for a higher low, and you get a higher low here, but this is on its way up, which is fine. But this isn't the cleanest. I mean, EMA doesn't really matter, but it just kind of feels like at least if it touched the EMA, you have a justification to take this trade. But I can't really call it a trade for the fact that it's already broken to the highs. So yes, it could keep going up like it does here, but it's not as definitive. It's a little harder to read for me. It's the high of day, which is designated by this blue line. So this blue line tracks the high of day just for the day. It starts flushing down, break, test the low, just kind of choppy here. There are second entries by the technical count in here, but on the bigger picture, they don't look very clean. So I want something a little bit more obvious for myself. Move this back. It was this larger channel I was playing with, and I honestly don't know if it's even valid. I mean, I don't need the channel to clearly see that prices are bullish, but if I color it in, then I start giving it more respect than it deserves, and I start thinking this is a possible support area. And since I don't know that, just kind of leaving it alone. So it hits a low, reverses back up, starts chopping sideways. Technically, you have a second entry long here, but it's a terrible signal bar. Hits a localized high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. I was thinking there might have been an almost trade here because it looks like it's obeying some kind of support here. It looks like it's ranging. EMA is starting to come up as support. I do notice that the last three previous candles, the EMA is holding. But I'm just not a big fan of this because this inside bar to this guy, and it's just very congested. Plus this range, if you look, it's only about 2.5 points. So I'm asking for a 6 tick scalp, and this is only about 8 to 10 ticks. So I'm asking for the bulk of this move. And you can see it could easily reverse from the previous candles. It could just easily hit this high, come back down. I want a larger, more defined range, or at least the EMA being a little more reliable. So there's nothing here. Pushes down, starts reversing up. Again, it starts moving sideways, and we're catching up to the real time right now. Starts moving sideways, nothing clean here, continues up. EMA is starting to hopefully be a little more reliable, and it started to push back down, but or at least a small little pullback. Whether it gets back here or not, I can't tell. But looking at this, and even yesterday, I forgot to erase the markings that I had. I kind of stopped right about here, and I just drew this after the fact. It does look like a bullish recovery day, but there's no clean setups because I'm looking in this case for something like this. I'd be looking to go long, but there's nothing really nice and clean. I mean, there are more aggressive things you could trade, but I'm not there. And on top of that, as I said, I get really sloppy with my thinking right around 10 o'clock Pacific Standard because especially if I haven't taken a trade all day, I'm more prone to doing something foolish out here before the market closes because it might just be like a hunch, which has no justification. And I'll end up taking the trade, and then I'll end up with a red day. Whereas today, I could just end up with a 0 day where I didn't win, I didn't lose, and just hope for something better tomorrow. So kind of how I saw the charts today. So hopefully that was helpful.